Hi, she's Trixie, and I'm Sarah, and this is Our Yarn World, a place where we come to share the love of yarn crafts and what they provide us and what we hope that it also provides you. We're here on, I think this is episode 53. It is. I have a brain. I remembered. You should be thankful.
It's your brother's favorite number.
It is my brother's favorite number. And how many weeks in a year?
52.
Oh.
Or past that now.
Yeah. I liked how last year at our anniversary mark we recognized how many episodes we had missed based off of how many we didn't make.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we are we have some interesting things. I like that color combination right there. I'm sorry. I'm just looking at pretty things. We have some updates. We do. Because I've barely gotten anything done, it feels like, and she's gotten a lot done. It feels like I've been just painting trim. And it doesn't help that trim is the most obnoxious thing to paint. And I've been doing that sort of a part of a project where it's you've taken all this time to do it, and it doesn't feel like you've gotten nothing done. And it's painful. And I'm very sad. So you can share with me in my sadness.
Yeah. But that will be explained in just a little while.
She's just let's get past this depressive episode. Let's go.
Let's show you the baby blanket that I made. And I'm not gonna apologize for it. It is not baby colors, and it is not baby size, because I figure this kid is gonna grow. Play on the floor, and you can lay it out on the floor, and the baby will be able to play and roll over and do all kinds of stuff, and that's just what I did. So I made this one a square.
I like that.
It's just enough where they can lay it out on the floor.
You want my help? That's right.
It starts out in a nice pastel combination, and it has white all the way through, but it's in greens and blues and a little bit of pink, and it goes darker and darker all the way down to the darkest blues. So we've got from light to dark, and I think it's going to please the person I'm giving it to. She likes these colors. And I also think that the baby will be able to be wrapped up in it, we'll be able to take it outside, we'll be able to put it in the car seat. It's got multi-uses, which is really nice when you have a baby.
Her last name is Green, so
that helps.
Yeah, she is one of the people that doesn't like to announce. Traditionally, you announce the gender and then keep the name a secret. For her, she has no problem sharing with you the names that she's chosen for whatever gender it is, but when she finds out the gender, she likes to keep it to herself.
Yeah.
Because she likes to be able to choose the clothes for her kids. She likes to be able to do that thing. So if you get her anything, having it neutral for her is much more freeing for her to be able to pick out the aesthetics that she wants for her for the nursery. So basic things like white onesies and plain black leggings and blankets like these, where it's either way it works.
Yeah.
Because especially with a name like Green, that having green blanket works.
Well, and she loves the color green, any shade, so that helps me.
Yep, so it's just a very versatile thing, and I think that's rather cool.
And then I started the blanket that I told you I was going to with the purples, and it is turning out so pretty. And it is a zigzag. She calls it a zigzag blanket, but in granny squares. And this is a design, I don't know that, maybe she did. She did it, Ophelia Talks, Anya on Ophelia Talks did a tutorial on this blanket, and this is where I'm getting this design from. So it's in Oh, you're not going to get to see it as much as I'd like you to. There's a very deep purple, white, with some kind of shimmer in it, a lighter purple, and then a gray with sparkle in it. I don't know if you're going to be able to see all the sparkle, but it is turning out so pretty. And I don't think you're getting the colors as much as, it doesn't look like you're getting the colors like I'm getting them. But at least you're going to be able to see the design. So, yeah, it's really nice. And at the end, in the second part, she shows you how to fill in the divots so it's a straight edge. And then in the third one, she shows you how to do the border around. So it's going to be a complete design element. And I'm not used to that, but I wanted to try something different. I actually went out to Joann's and bought the yarn for this. So the two shades of purple, the silver with the sparkle in it, and then I had the white with the sparkle in it. So yeah, it's turning out so nice, and I love using that the Furls Odyssey 5mm hook on it, because I still have that grip, but the hook size is the difference, and I don't have to worry that the size of the hook itself all the way down is not a straight one. It does have the grip on it, so it helps a lot. Makes the work go a little bit faster. And you are
sad. Oh no,
she's working on the first tire.
Okay.
The truck is amazing.
Let me vent.
I am letting you vent.
Okay, so I just shook you. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, you can't put your elbows on the table.
I didn't.
Or bump.
I exist. Pretty much, like, this row is so hard to do because when I was doing the last row, I was so angry and so
So it's so tight.
Yeah. Don't crochet when you're angry.
No, it makes your stitches tighter.
Yeah, I'm trying to loosen my grip right here just to make this row bearable. So pretty much, this tire was making me angry, which caused me to make the stitches where it's almost impossible to enjoy doing a project. So now I have to make up for it now that I'm a little bit calmer. So pretty much, this tire is as big as my face, and it fills me with so much rage.
Monster tires are huge.
And I know that, like, conceptually, I knew that. In the, like, I don't know how to explain this. Conceptually, I knew that this project was going to be obnoxious. My daughter's home from spring break, so if you're hearing her laughing hysterically, it's because she is.
She's watching a video on Mommy's phone.
I'm glad that you're laughing. Could you be quiet? Thank you. Love you too. So pretty much, excuse me.
I think Sarah should have started with the tires. Then maybe she wouldn't be so mad about it. Because you have to make 4 of them. And that part is something that is just, you have to repeat it over and over and over. The truck didn't take that long. The accessories for the truck didn't take that long. But the tires are making her angry.
That's not really it. So here's the thing. I was very fine with starting off with what I started off with because it gave me a major boost towards getting what I accomplished done in such a short amount of time.
Yeah, you feel like you're getting it done.
Right. The reason I didn't want to do the tires is because the pattern of the tires was a very offsetting increase, because You know how when you're going in a circular fashion for an increase going outwards, if you start with a magic circle, normally it's either 5 or 6 stitches you put into that circle, and then from there you branch out where you see these almost these natural rivets where it just starts to go into spanning out at a 5 or a 6 increase wherever that increase is.
Right.
And normally you stay on that course and you don't even question it. Well, with this one, they wanted you to do like increase right here, then rotate it, increase right here, rotate it, increase right here. And they wanted to do that because they wanted it to not look like a hexagon. They wanted it to look like a circle. So if you offset, so let's say that the increases are where you see my like the corners of my fingers or my hand creates. If the increases are at those points, they would want you to rotate it and then rotate it back, rotate it back, rotate it back. I like projects where I can just sit down in some capacity, conceptualize what the pattern's asking me to do, and then be able to enjoy my form of pastime, which is either listening to an audiobook, listening to music, or watching something on YouTube and being a little bit mindless. This is a meditation for me. Yeah. And I just was sitting there being like, the tires are useless. They're not actually going to be able to roll.
Right.
I didn't want to put that much effort into it, and it just, I don't like it when a piece of the pattern takes almost 2-3 pages. One piece of the pattern takes 2 or 3 pages because they put so much effort into it being super detailed like that. And so in my head it was like, I just did not have the mental capacity to do it when they suggested doing it in the pattern, because this is something you add on to the truck bed, so it wasn't necessarily that I needed to get it done when it was asking me to.
Right.
So I just decided if I could just motivate myself, if I could just see the truck done,
right,
then my motivation to get the tires done would be at a higher, because then they would be the last things to get finished.
Right.
And it's not that that wasn't true. What was true was, even when I made it simpler, where I didn't do the increases that way, I did the increases as they wanted me to, 6 evenly spaced out every row in the way that they wanted me to. I just didn't do it in the offsetting like they wanted me to. So you can see that it's a hexagon shape, but because I'm about to stuff the tire, I don't really think it's going to be that noticeable.
right. And they don't have to roll anyway.
Right. What's obnoxious about this, this tire's construction, is something I will be able to show you in just a second, is that the way that they want you to do what would be the, what is the metal frame inside the tire? What's that called? The hub?
The hubcap and the rim?
The rim. The rim is what I'm trying to say. The rim that they're trying to make you artificially create, that you're not even going to be able to see.
Yeah. That you're working on right now?
Is infuriating. And granted, I get why they're making you do it. It's so that it can hold its shape. So, what I'm actually going to do real quick is I'm going to stuff this, so you're actually able to see it. So, you'll actually see me be able to get some of this done in real time. Here, while that's happening, I have a new item. How about you show that to the people? My husband wondered...
What is it?
It's a bag.
Oh.
My husband, at his work, went into a raffle that they were just randomly doing for raising morale. And he was putting all his tickets into different ones that he was hoping to get. And he won that bag.
Gift of Hope.
And it was a $33 bag that he got for free.
Hope.
And he literally was on the phone with me, and he's just like, "You're getting it. I'm not gonna need it. Not a bag like that."
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Is this the person who made it?
I think so.
Hmm.
I think
Okay.
these are...
Shabrice. Okay, so it's Gift of Hope by Shabrice.
And so he's just like, it just seems like a bag that you'd be able to use for your projects. And so I took it, and so far
There's a little pocket in the side. Just on the one side, though. Not on the other side.
So I thought I would share that with you guys. Just pass on.
Really pretty.
It's a rather
Different design, but it's really nice.
it's very nice bag, and
And very sturdy and very heavy duty.
yeah.
It's a very heavy duty bag. I put this card back into the pocket for you.
Thank you. So
Maybe I'll read it first. It says, while she's stuffing the tire, I'll just read what the card says. I learned the skill of sewing years ago, but I have never been able to find a job. I am so thankful to work at Gift of Hope so I can plan a future for my family where our needs are met and my talents are utilized. I love the Lord, and He provided me this job.
Olivia,
Isn't that great?
Olivia, I will
that.
be there in just a minute. Please go on your tablet. Sweetie, I'll be there in just a minute. You can't, no, sweetheart, you can't be on the screen looking the way you do, okay? Sweetie, would you like to be on screen? You gotta go get me your hoodie. Go get me your hoodie. It's right there. Right on the other side of Nana's blanket. Go get me your hoodie.
Or even just her. Here, I'll get her shirt. That way it's not as big.
She's very interested in what we're doing, and her brother is in the playroom.
Honey, it'll be okay.
Sweetie, if you put it on, you can be sitting with us. That's your choice.
You want to sit on Nana's lap while we do the video? You got to have a shirt on.
No, Elsa.
You want Elsa instead?
Yeah, we are both.
Okay, come here.
She, just for preface, I don't just keep my children naked. When she gets warm, now that she's 3, she knows how to conceptually put on and take off clothes, and because of that, she, when she just gets warm, she just takes them off. And as long as we're in a safe environment, like, you know, Nana and Papa's,
You don't need your pants on.
I don't normally worry about it too much.
Nana.
Just come up on my lap.
Look.
Look.
Mommy.
Look at it. Hi, big girl. For those of you who get to see Kenya all the time, this is his sister, Olivia.
She's normally at school. So, here's the thing, right? Okay, so this is the tire. This tire is, like I said,
Just a minute.
see, this is my hand.
Let me show
It's
you.
pretty big. And scale to the truck, this is how big it's gonna be.
Mommy,
Just
hold it.
Alright, so like that. It's gonna be rather big. Now obviously you can see that the shape of the hexagon is slightly there, and I'm not fully done stuffing it, but it's enough to be able to see the shape. You start in the middle and you go out, and then you work your way up, leaving when you, Olivia, you see the wheel? I'm showing it off and then you can hold it. I do hear you would like to hold it.
Here.
And that's
How about
okay.
you hold the bag first?
No.
She can be patient. You are more than fine holding the wheel, but Mommy needs to show it off first, okay? Okay. So you construct the middle, which is would be the rim, and you can see that there's a bit of a
I'll put.
wall, like a bit of a obvious bowl shape. And when you do that, you have you're only working in the front loop when you were just working up with no more increases. on that foundation, on that first changing from increasing to not increasing, that first row, you just do the front loop, and then obviously switch to black and you do the back loop only, which helps you fan back out. Once you're done with your increases, they wanted you to then again only be in the back loop so that you flattened out, no more increases. When they wanted you to fan back in, they had you go through the back loop, so you can see those ridges right here of those stitches not being in, and they decrease the same. And then what they wanted you to do, and what it is brilliant, those not going through both of the stitches, allowing you to be able to come up the way that only working through the front loop did, allowed the back loop to be exposed so that you can start crocheting off of that circle of the back loop and coming in, creating a actual rim effect inside that allow you to fill out the back of the tire. This row right here that I've been working on, I will crochet these the black and the silver rows together. Now that they have matched, I'll fill this pocket in, create another silver circle that will cover that, which will create that will fan out a bit like a cone to be able to be the axle, and then turn into the bridge axle that I will create for the rest of all the tires to be able to put underneath the bed of the truck. It's not that this is a bad design, but it was frustrating to me. And because I wasn't willing to put in the same amount of work that they wanted me to do, it turned out like this. Now, granted, this is a non-moving wheel that's just going to be sewn onto the truck.
Yep, you are.
And I think that this designer obviously had intentions for a lot more realism than I'm willing to put into it, and that is not a bad thing of the creator. The creator is doing a magnificent job with this creation.
Oh yeah.
It's just my dedication to this project started to wear thin, knowing that this was going to kind of be the part of it that trumped me, and obviously it did. But when you're crocheting and your hand tightens up because you're tensing up because the project is frustrating you, the stitches become tighter, and then it becomes harder to crochet, and it becomes frustrating. So if a project ever does that, just allowing yourself the ability to just say no.
Yeah.
I don't need to do this right now.
Right.
Because it's not like this project is a bad project, because I was wondering how this wasn't going to pop forward.
Right.
But obviously this little fake brim actually proves to be able to hold the actual shape of an actual tire by mimicking the same techniques of an actual rim.
Isn't that cool?
And that is rather brilliant. So I give full dedication and props to the designer of this project, that we will keep tagging until this project is complete. Right. I was hoping to be able to have all the tires done for the party, which was last Sunday, but I was not able to.
And today is Wednesday when we're filming this, and it's his actual birthday.
It's his actual birthday, but his mom isn't worried about me not getting this gift to him. This child is my godchild, so it's not like this project is any less important to me. I really am excited to give this to him. And
he'll be excited when it's completely done.
Yeah, having all the rest of the work on this project done, the tailpipe and the bumpers and the back lights and the roll cage
and the mirrors
and they wanted you to have please sweetie, gotta be good. That's the stuffing. You can't take that with you.
No,
they wanted you to actually have like little glare light blue embroidery thread, or like even to crochet blue into the mirrors, the windows, to make it look like it was reflection in it. They even wanted you to do that with the headlights, but I just chose not to. Like I said, this crafters...
Mommy, I open.
Creativity is massive.
And level of dedication to the realism and the
Yeah.
details of this project. If you want to endeavor to replicate this, obviously her pattern's at a decent price, and you're getting your money's worth because this author is definitely and creator is definitely well into realism and design and knows how to
And
craft.
it is linked in the description below.
Yeah. I'm very sorry for our little interruption. She's confused by what we're doing because
She never sees it.
she never sees it. Yeah. She's normally never here, even before she was always at school. So.
Or she was at her nap. when
Or
we were
she,
doing it.
and now she doesn't take a nap. So I will go put her back while, if there's anything more that you want to say, and then I will get the Bible verse up.
Okay.
What do you think of the tires construction? Like,
I think that you did an excellent job. I'm just sorry that it's frustrating you so bad and that you got to do 3 more of them.
because it's just the whole concept of sometimes it's the one sock, it's that need to get the sock design, the itch to make a sock out, but to actually have it be a functional thing, you have to have
2.
a pair.
Yeah.
Olivia, come on.
Go with Mama. So we're just trying to get her down and watching her video again. But yeah, it's just a thing where I think that's why I like blankets so much, because it's one and done. You're just doing something for the fun of it and changing colors when you want to. Doing a stitch that you like the best, or as I'm doing now, you're doing a stitch that doesn't normally go into a zigzag, but it works. And so the granny clusters are working in the zigzag design, and it's just, you get to change colors when you feel like it. And since I didn't have enough, I shouldn't say that, I didn't have as much of the silver sparkle and the white as I did the purples, I just decided to do 1 line of those and 3 lines of the purples, and just keep zigzagging them and keep doing the granny clusters and switching out the colors. And that to me is the fun part. I love switching the colors. But for me, having the blanket is a one and done. I don't have to repeat it if I don't want to. I can switch colors and I can make it different each time. And you know, even when I do the scrappy blankets, it may be the same design and doing the same stitch, but when you're changing colors, every single one of them is different. And that to me is the joy of it. I love and let me just say this too before she gives us the scripture of the day. I was able on Sunday to give Sveta her blanket, her granny stripe blanket, and she loved it. She hugged my husband, she hugged me, she gave us an update on her hometown, and we told her to keep the faith and that God is working, and he's doing marvelous things, and that he hadn't forgot her, and that I told her about the camo stripe and the blankets, how there was one in the woman color and one in the man color because they're both fighting this war. And she agreed with that. And I also told her that the bright colors in it, or the prettier colors in there, were for brighter days. And it just seemed to work. She is very much a practical person, and I had brought the other blankets for her husband and her daughter, but her daughter wasn't there, and her husband said, I have a quilt that you made on the bed, and I enjoy using that, so you don't have to give me any more. And he said go ahead and give them to the needy. the ones who you plan to give them to. And that made me happy too. I was just thrilled to think that he uses a quilt that I made in the past. So, that made me smile. So they're very practical people, and I'm glad to give them practical gifts.
Yeah, it really warms the heart.
Yeah, and the hug was so genuine. So I've never had a hug like that before. She poured out her heart in the hug, and it was just so genuine and so authentic and so loving that I just loved it. So when you get a chance to do something for another person and they genuinely hug you like that, it's worth it. Did you find it?
I did.
Good.
So I'm very happy that it was a very welcomed gift, because sometimes I was thinking about this. You can have good intentions with a gift, but it can only remind people of the situation that they're going through.
Right.
Instead of it being a momentum forward, it feels like a step back.
Right.
But because I've had that before, where you say something thinking it's going to be encouraging,
Right.
and it has the opposite effect.
Yeah, sometimes that happens.
But I'm very glad that was not the case here.
I was so happy.
So I found a verse that, in full context, I think is very good. But I found it, and I found that it was rather intriguing. Again, I don't know the full context of what this passage is trying to say, but this verse in and of itself, I feel, speaks for itself. And it says, I'll say the address after. It says, "So also you have sorrow now, but I will see you again, and your hearts will rejoice, and no one will take your joy from you."
Oh, yeah.
And it's from John 16:22. The rest of it talks about, like, "In that day you will ask nothing of me. Truly, truly, I say to you, whatever you ask of my Father in my name, he will give it to you. Until now you will have asked nothing in my name. Ask and you will receive, that your joy may be full." So that's like to the end of the passage, but it seems to be talking about just that revelation of, like, recognizing that coming of Jesus. There's just something about, you can be in a situation that in and of itself is very hard to see yourself out of it.
Yeah.
But the reality is, with him, there's always going to be a coming over or getting through or on the other side.
Yeah.
There is always that with Jesus, because he's gone through every single obstacle and he knows the way through that wilderness.
That is so true. Yeah,
And
now that I'm thinking about it, that is so true.
like, when he died on the cross, he took on everything. He took on everything, and for him to make it through hell to come back to us meant that he had to navigate how to make it through everything. And so when he's asking us to lay our sins down, he's just asking that we recognize that he has the means to be able to get us through it.
Yeah.
Because he, taking them on, had to go through them too.
Yeah.
And there's this recognition of, so like it said, "So also you have sorrow now, but I will see you again, and your hearts will rejoice, and no one will take your joy from you," because it will be something that it can't be taken away. I have a friend right now that's going through such an overwhelming situation that is all encompassing. I can't talk about it in detail, but it's genuinely all encompassing. No matter where she looks in her life, it is utter chaos. And there's no reprieve. The stress and the yoke that she's carrying is so heavy. Has taken a physical toll on her, has taken a mental toll on her, and it is she is doing everything she can to keep that smile, to keep that performance, because she has kids and they need to be able to have a mom that's still engaged and still there and still present.
And this blanket is for her.
And that blanket is for her. And I am so sorry. Dear Lord. There's so many interruptions. I think we already have.
So, yeah, it's hard to reckon hard, chaotic times, but on the other side of it is joy, and on the other side of it is Jesus.
It was actually her that was trying to call me. Sorry, it was that friend who was actually trying to call me. I will call her back. I sent her a text saying I'd call her back. My daughter was on my phone, so that just, the phone call startled her. But there's just this context of getting over it. And I have, like, there's this process that, like, of, in therapy it's called giving agency back, or grounding. That is this perspective of to be able to see your side on the outside of the box. So let's say your situation's on the inside of the box and we put it in that box.
Right.
How can we get you to walk out of the box so that you can see it on all sides and recognize what it is for what it is?
Right.
When situations are so big and so grand, where they're all-encompassing, how can we get to the outside of the border to be able to put it in its box?
Yeah.
That's not always easy. One of the ways that I look at it is, okay, this has a time limit. This can only last for so long.
Right.
So let's see ourselves on the other side of it.
Right.
What will you look like after you've completed this?
Right.
What will 6 months look like?
Yeah.
What will in a year look like?
Yes.
Let's plan for that, because you might not be in control of right now, but what this situation that you're going through right now is going to reward you is the future.
Yes.
The future is coming. And so, like, there's this aspect of acknowledging what you're going through is healthy. We have to be able to acknowledge it, because being in denial doesn't allow us to get through it. We'll
Right.
stay in it. We'll stay around that mountain and never be able to cross it, because we're going around it
Right.
in a circle instead of going over it.
Yeah.
And there is that aspect of, if we can just acknowledge what we're going through, you're going through sorrow, then we recognize that there's a break, there's a moment, there's a recognition of, this might not be easy, but there is another side. And when you make it to the other side, nothing can steal that from you.
Yeah.
There's not one thing, not even the devil, can take away what you've accomplished. No one can take away what you've gone through. It is your story. It is your life. No one can live it for you. And if you want something, you have to take the time to be willing to take what life has thrown at you, acknowledge it, put it in its box, telling it that it has a time limit.
Right.
Because you have more to do.
Yeah.
And you have more that you've planned for. And that's something that can only be accomplished by a God that engages with us every day, that promises a way through it, and it tells you that we will see him on the other side,
And
because he's paved the path.
And he can do things in a twinkling of an eye where we would take years to do it.
And there's a recognition of, I remember an old pastor of mine, she is just not wanting to sit still.
Right.
There's an old pastor of mine that had this way of putting it. He was reading a verse that talked about Jesus was walking ahead of them. And putting himself in that position, he was like, there's times where I know I'm walking with him and I'm letting him lead, but I still don't understand where we're going. And it's like seeing the backside of Jesus. You know that you're not alone, But at the same time, you can't tell where he's taking you. There's no conversation, there's no engagement to the story.
Right.
You're following him almost blindly. But at the same time, you know that you're with him.
But you know he knows
But
where
then,
he's going.
I will see you again, and your hearts will rejoice, and no one will be able to take the joy from you. He can turn around and be able to present to you where you've come, where you've gotten to. Sometimes it feels like Jesus is far away, but if you can still be able to see him, that's still enough to be able to get you through the water. It's still enough to be able to get you over the storm. It's still enough to recognize that he's not just forsaken you. He's always there. He's done it before, he'll do it again. He's here, he's now, he's then. Don't forget that. And just recognize that God is faithful. He is literally the embodiment of faithfulness and love. And there's just so much to him that gives me hope. There's a lot of things that people can never understand.
Miss Chocolate Face. Okay, we're gonna have to finish this.
Yes, she's making it almost impossible. But there's so much to the story of Jesus and his coming and what it means and
Mommy,
and faith.
my waters.
That is my water. Let me have some water in just a minute, and then you can share it with me. Okay. So I just encourage you, just as the verse said, John 16:22. This is from the ESV, or the English Standard Version.
Yes.
And it is, so also you have sorrow now, but I will see you again, and your hearts will rejoice, and no one will take your joy from you.
Yes.
Sometimes we have to go through sorrow to be able to get to the other side. That with a joy that not even God himself could take away.
Exactly.
And because we've earned it.
You said she could hold it.
Yes, you can hold it. Just can't take the stuffing out of it. We love you all. We thank you, and we hope that you enjoyed today's video. We know that it was a bit of a disruption to our normal, quote unquote broadcast. Yeah, she wants to show the tire.
There you go, honey.
I guess maybe our title will be distractions. Planes, trains, and automobile distractions or something. But we're grateful for those that stick to the end, and that you would be willing and faithful enough to accept that not all of our videos are going to be as well structured as we had hoped. To be fair, it might have not happened the way that it did, considering how many times we were laughing trying to start our intro. We have such a big amount of bloopers, but as always, we love you all. We thank you for joining us today. And as always, we hope that you stitch your way
To mental health.